My name's Juliana, and where do I begin? My husband Craig and I decided to move our lives and our son to the island of Sardinia in Italy, my father's homeland. Join us on our new journey as I share my culture, heritage and passion for all things Simply Sardinian. We have got some friends coming over for a barbecue tomorrow, and we've just realised that we don't have a table and chairs out in the courtyard. So we've come down to one of the shops that I quite like. We've got a really good deal on a table and chairs. Bought everything and then realised that nothing fits in the car. So we've been here for about 40 minutes now, trying to fit everything in the car. We've now got a table on the roof that we're going to have to try and find something to fix it down with, but I'm going to show you the carry-on that we have had for the past 40 minutes.
Told you.
We have so this is the current state of the car. The tabletop is being held down by bits of string. This is a bit of Sardinian engineering. I actually don't know how I've got all of this in. We have had a number of comments and messages coming through, obviously from people that are curious as to what the cost of living here is in Italy. So I've got a bit of shopping to do today because we're organising a barbecue tomorrow, so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to bring you along. We're at our local big shopping centre. There's a really big supermarket here. It's one of the big major supermarkets in Italy, so I thought I'd bring you along and let you see for yourself some of the prices of everyday groceries. So anyone that's looking for a property, this is quite a well-known real estate agent in the area, and they've got some different properties all over. So it is Mother's Day tomorrow and the flower section is out of control. They're really nicely wrapped. There's so much colour. But yeah, for these two pots of colour, they're like €6.80 each. So in Italy, you grab your bags. Actually, I forgot my glove. You grab your glove, and then you grab your product, and each little card has got a number. You have to put that code in, take it over to the scales, and then you weigh it yourself and you put the sticker on it yourself. It is, but I don't have enough on it. 1241. Oh. These are lemons from the Amalfi Coast. I think one of the things that I have really noticed since being here is everything, like the fruit and veg, smells the way it should smell, like a tomato, like apples, oranges, you can actually smell them. And obviously everything's laid out and it just feels a lot fresher what you're buying. A lot of what we used to buy in Australia used to be like pre-packaged. There just seemed to be, everything was covered in plastic and plastic wrap, and you could never really like smell the fruit and veg or really like handle it because it was all covered up in plastic and polystyrene and whatever else.
Seasonal.
So yeah, this is all really seasonal. And even like seeing the watermelons out, it's like, right, okay, summer's definitely on its way now. So yeah, it's all part of the experience of shopping somewhere different, I suppose. Good morning. I am having my cup of coffee, morning coffee, at my new table and chairs that Craig and I got yesterday. It was a total struggle trying to get this in the car. Because it was round, we couldn't get it in the boot of the car. And we ended up, the lady at the shop was absolutely awesome. She went and got a colleague. We had this guy who was just sort of standing with his arms folded like this, just watching us, trying to fit everything in the car. It was like Jenga. And then eventually Craig had the bright idea to pop the tabletop on the roof of the car. We had bits of string going through the car to hold it down. And we literally had to drive home, each of us with one arm out the car to hold down this tabletop. But at the end of it, when we got everything in the car, this guy turned round and said, "Oh, I'm a carabinieri." And I'm like, "Oh my God, really?" He's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, can we take this home?" And he's like, "Oh, how far have you got to go?" And I told him where we lived, and he's like, "Nah, you'll be right, just go really slow, just go straight home, make sure it doesn't flip up, you'll be right." So when in Italy, I think maybe if I told him I had like an hour's drive to go, he would have been like, nah, don't do it. So anyway, we were very lucky. I'm really pleased with the outdoor setting that we've got. Definitely changes the area out here. So I was going through some of the monthly bills that we have, like telephone and Wi-Fi. We don't have water charges here. We actually have our own private well that we use. We use that for washing, showering, like the laundry. And then for cooking we use bottled water, so we are quite fortunate that we have that here. However, in the cottage we do have mains water there, so we do have water charges, and the water charges can be obviously a little bit high. I'm not sure how much it is, however they sort of price it. Obviously the property there has been largely empty, so I can't really give an example on the water. We don't have a gas bill. We use gas bottles for cooking. We obviously do have electricity and council rates. So I was just doing some filing and I found a couple of things which might interest some people. When we first obviously set up the property I think when you are a foreigner and you're not really sure what's what, I just connected to the main companies. I know it's like anywhere else. If you go into like these websites, they will give you like a comparison of all the companies out there. But I think I was a little bit hesitant and scared at the beginning because I didn't really know, you know, who was good, who was bad, who was reliable, who wasn't. So I just went and used like the main telecom and electric companies. So yeah, we just used the main telecom companies that we knew were trustworthy. But in the last few months, I have changed over things. So I was just looking out, doing some filing. So our telephone and our Wi-Fi, which is 5G, I think it's fibre, we were with TIM, which is the main Italian telecom company. And we were paying €47.80 a month, which was actually quite high. When I was talking to other people, they're like, oh my gosh, that is really, really expensive. And I think it got to this price because when I first connected, we were on like one of these honeymoon contracts, and then obviously it's expired and it's just gone up and up. So I have just recently changed over to Vodafone, and for the telephone and Wi-Fi it's €24.90 a month, which is almost half the price. So yeah, we are making quite a few savings just by shopping around and changing around. So that was just one example, was the telephone and Wi-Fi. And then I found my rates notice for last year, and our rates notice with our local council, and I know this changes from council to council, but our house here is around 140 square meters, I think. So it's a 3-bedroom property. We have 1 bathroom, we've got no garage, we've got courtyards. So based on that sort of size property, we are paying €248 for the year, and that is our council rates for rubbish collection and all the other bits and pieces that they put in. Our gas bottles, we normally buy around 4 15-litre gas bottles, and that does us like the full year. And we have a lot of people. We cook 2-3 times a day. We use a lot of gas for the cooking, but the gas just seems to go on forever. And the gas bottles are around €32, and that's for us having 2 15 litres, like canisters, twice a year. So that's really cheap. And yeah, other than that, we have a car. Road tax is around €174 for the year. Craig has a scooter. The scooter I just renewed last week, and it was €22 for the year for the road tax. I don't know what you call it elsewhere. I know in Australia it's called Rego, and UK it's road tax. I'm not sure what it is anywhere else. So yeah, so that is a basic sort of, apart from the car, our monthly outgoings in terms of the house, and then obviously we have groceries on top. So I'm in my new space, which I'm absolutely loving at the moment. I love walking in here. I keep coming in. I don't know if anyone else does this, but you do something up in the house, you change the furniture, and then you tend to keep going in and having a look and going, wow. Anyway, I'm doing that at the moment. Back on topic. So I just want to point out, I don't get sponsored for any of this. But yeah, I just thought I would pick out some bits, like main shopping bits that I buy anyway each week, just to give you an example of prices. So yeah, so laundry, detergent, I am around, depending on what brand I choose, is probably between €2.80 to about €6. This is obviously one of the main brands, and I think this was on special yesterday. I can't remember what it was in special for, but yeah, it's roughly between €2.80 and about €6 depending on what brand you buy. This is one of the big brands, main brands of washing detergents. So this is a bit like, I don't know, like Persil or Ariel in the UK or Omo in Australia. And this was €10 for the big one. And I think it's 2.5 litres, this one. So that's €10, which is pretty expensive. But again, this was on special and that's why I grabbed it. The Lenore beads, I know these are so expensive in Australia, like crazy expensive. These are about €7-8 here, and I very rarely buy these. I only buy them when I've got a lot of big linen to wash. Like now I'm putting all the winter stuff away, so I'm just airing out and washing, freshening up all the big quilts and blankets and things to put away until the end of the year. So that's the laundry stuff. The coffee capsules, and we go through absolutely heaps of these. These are a supermarket own brand, and there's 50 in them, and these were like €9 something when I bought them yesterday. Pasta for half a kilo of pasta, and here obviously we've got heaps of different brands, but if you were looking at maybe Barilla, which is like one of the most famous brands of pasta I think in the world, for half a kilo you can get it for around 60-70 cents here. Milk is around €2 for a carton, and we buy the lactose free one because we're all lactose free. And then meat. So these are little lamb chops that they're actually British lamb chops. I think the ones that we got the other week were Irish lamb chops. But these were €8.43, and that's for 450 grams. And that is like quite expensive. And the reason I bought it is just something different that obviously you don't get a lot of here. So when I seen these, I bought these, and that's a bit of a treat for Sunday lunch. A pack of chicken breast. So the chicken breast is €10.59 a kilo. So this pack here, which we'll do the 4 of, is there's actually a lot more in there than what you can see. It goes forever. That was €7.30, and there's around 700 grams in that, so just under a kilo. And then Craig wanted this massive Florentine steak, which is absolutely huge. There's 1.2 kilos in this, and this was €23.38. So that was, yeah, a big buy yesterday. So meat and things compared to what I was sort of paying in Australia, I find some things there's not a lot of difference. Other things, yeah, we actually do save quite a bit, but I think it's just swings and roundabouts. Everything sort of balances itself out in the end. Water, so for a bottle of water, which we use at least 6 to 8 bottles of water a day. It's crazy the amount of water that we use. But the bottles of water are around 32-35 cents a bottle, and here they tend to buy it in big packs of 6. So that's what the water is. And then wine. So we are very lucky, dangerous as well. We have a winery straight across the road from us, and if we buy direct from the winery, the bottles of wine are generally around €3.50 for a bottle. If we went to a supermarket, you're looking anywhere between €5 to €6 a bottle. Sort of like your top shelf things are around €12 a bottle, but that is like a really expensive bottle of wine, like if you were to buy that here. Beer is fairly cheap, soft drink is fairly cheap. Bread here, they sell bread by the kilo. So here's an example. I have got one pack of bread and it's €1.18, and this one is €1.20. This one was €2. So it's a bit odd here. You go in, you actually buy the bread by the kilo. Eggs, a dozen eggs are around €2.80, €2.90. So I think I've given you quite a broad idea of what our grocery costs are here. Obviously every week's a little bit different. Fruit and veg we tend to buy straight from the farmers markets, or the local market on a Thursday where all the farmers go. And the produce, you can't really beat it, and I would prefer to buy direct from the farmer as opposed to going to a supermarket and buying heaps of, stuff that's come from Spain and Portugal and France and wherever else. There's nothing wrong with it, just personally I prefer to buy local and buy direct off the actual producers. And it's fairly cheap. Fruit and veg is really cheap here. It's really fresh, and I find it tends to be a lot more organic than the produce that I was buying back in Australia. Everything is, it just tastes better, smells better. So